All right, so Bitcoin is finally over that 50K mark, and we are now starting to see altcoins kind of bounce due to it. As the market typically goes, Bitcoin goes up, everything goes up kind of beneath it, kind of a money flow effect. So in today's video, I'm going to be going over some of my favorite gaming altcoins that have been performing pretty well within the last 7 days, give you some updates on some of them, give you some of my opinions on where they could potentially go, and most of these should be no surprise if you guys are familiar with this channel. I've been watching some of the other videos. We've been calling out most of these throughout the bear market, throughout this last little bit of a dip. We'll kind of show you some prices here. So if we look at Bitcoin, obviously, you have to talk about Bitcoin. It kind of is a big determining factor of where the market's standing right now. Bitcoin is right now at 52,300. Obviously it has been up over 20% on the 1 month chart. I mean, obviously we saw it dip after the ETF news, and then it went, beneath 40 for a little bit, and then now we are seeing it climb back up. So pretty exciting there. I think that, Bitcoin is going to keep going up for a little bit. Everyone's calling for a pre-halving dump. I wouldn't be on that side, but, if you look at the last previous bull runs, the four-year cycle, the charts, it pretty much always follows the same, but, you're going to hear it all the time. This time it's different. ETF, more institutional money flowing through. That could be true. I mean, I think and this is not saying it's going to happen, just putting an opinion out there. I think that if we broke all-time highs before the halving, I mean, your face would melt throughout this bull run. What's going to happen? I mean, it would peel your wig back. But we'll take a look here. Look at some of the gaming altcoins that have been performing very well. And I'm not going to bring them all up in one video. I mean, this video is probably going to be long as is. So if you guys have any questions on individual projects, let me know in the comments below. I try to answer all you guys' comments, but we could be taking a look across here. Myria here has been performing super well. Over the 7 day, up 41% here. It's still chilling at just over $100 million in market cap. Now, I see Myria personally really as the Gala Games of this bull run. I mean, what they're building is so similar. I mean, they have their own blockchain, their layer 2 blockchain with zero gas fees. They have multiple games. I think it's around 100 or so, give or take a couple, building on their platform. They're building their own couple games in-house with Mirror Studios. They have, obviously the gaming niche is, what they're underneath. So I think that they are doing essentially what Gala Games was doing last bull run. It just, in my opinion, at a better scale. But that's only my opinion. If you look at their website, they actually did revamp it here recently. So we can see, they have a better website. They kind of show off a little bit more of what they're doing. And they're also kind of an infrastructure play. They have their Myria's SDKs as well for developers. So developers can build on Myria so they can launch faster, everything like that. We've done so many more in-depth project videos on Myria, and really every project we'll be covering today. So if you're interested on any of them, let me know. Or, again, I guarantee we've made videos on all of these projects, so you can find them on this channel. But again, Myria, even at the market cap that's at right now, I think if you look at the all-time highs, I mean, it got up, I think, even higher than this. Yeah, at the end of 2023, about $140 million in circulating market cap. Obviously, there's going to be token dilution the closer we get to, the 2025, end of 2024, peak bull run is what everyone's calling for. So keep that in mind with, like, all these projects, especially with anything in crypto. Always look at the tokenomics, but still, as we close that gap into it, I think Myria is still undervalued. When you look long-term, as with most of these projects, you have to look long-term and realize that we potentially, strongly, could have a major bull run in front of us. The only reason I don't say for sure is that nothing's guaranteed in crypto or at all. So, again, nothing in this video is financial advice, just giving you my opinion. I think that Myria is going to rip this bull run. That's personally my opinion. I mean, when you look at Gala Games, last bull market, it got to about over a $5 billion circulating market cap. Right now, Myria is 1/50th of that. So, I mean, do the math there. I think Myria is building out a better platform than Gala Games was last bull market around this time. Granted, also, there's going to be more competition this bull run, but there's also going to be more money flowing in. So, it's always a trade-off. But I think, even at today's levels, I wouldn't be buying obviously anything probably on this list today, especially unless it was like a super, super low market cap, which we'll cover a couple of those in this video, just because everything has been performing so well. Wait for a retest on a bunch of these projects if you feel like you missed an entry point, even though, again, if you look over the 1 month, as you could with really anything on today's video, it dipped. When Bitcoin went under 40K, it dipped. So if you were looking at an entry point on Myria, I mean, we got down to in the 60s for our market cap. It's about to 2x from there. So pretty crazy, but I am long-term bullish on Myria. But moving on, we have Vulcan Forge, another gaming studio infrastructure play, very similar to Myria, actually. The only thing is I don't think they have external third-party developer games on their platform. They have their own games. They're building. Vulcan Forge is building out themselves, but quite a few games, and they're upping the quality on them over time. They have their Elysium Layer 1 blockchain. They have their nodes, just like Myria does. And again, Vulcan Forge, the biggest difference is that they were around last bull market, but they got up to almost $1 billion in market cap, and then there was, I think, a hack that went on, so from $40 it kind of crashed a little bit. And then all bear market. I was screaming on this video. We were making so many videos here saying, anything under $3 for Vulcan Forge was a steal, and that's when we were accumulating. So, obviously we're sitting pretty well right now, especially given at the end of 2023. I was taking profits a little bit, as everyone should on your way up. Nothing wrong with that. Always take profits, or else you're just gonna lose. It's just the fact. But it got up to about $9 here recently, so that's a 3x right there. Nothing crazy, but still pretty decent on Vulcan Forge. Again, their website kind of breaks down also what they have going on. Again, their Elysium Gaming Layer 1 blockchain, Metascapes or Metaverses as a Metaverse builder as a service, Vulcan Studios, obviously with all their games underneath Vulcan Forge. So very bullish on Vulcan Forge. Also, Heroes of Mavia, another one that we've been talking about for years now, before the game ever even launched. We were talking about it years ago when they first brought up the idea. Again, you can look back on this channel. That's a fact. That is a fact. But we can see that they launched on February 6th of this year, so about a week or two ago, and they launched at about I think it was 80 cents. The launch price, I want to say, was 80 cents, and it was like a 22 million or $25 million circulating market cap. So, I mean, this thing has ripped pretty well. Obviously, we saw it climb up to, I think, about a $250 million circulating market cap. Now, something special about Heroes of Mavia. One, if you haven't played the game, download it on your phone, Android or iPhone. It's free. You can download it. If you're familiar with Clash of Clans, if you like that game, Clash of Clans, you're gonna feel right at home in Heroes of Mavia. It takes a lot of similarities from that. But sorry, I think they did it right. A lot of people are saying it, and I agree. Heroes of Mavia, they shipped their game first, got all the downloads. Obviously, they were giving access to the game months ago if you're a landholder as well. So you can have been playing it even earlier than the public did, and then they launched their token. Most people do it vice versa. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't, but obviously Heroes of Mavia, and they had a lot of hype around them as well. It's been one of the most hyped games, really building on the bear market, so they killed it. I mean, again, within their opening nationwide to the public first weekend of launching the app for mobile devices, they got over 1 million app downloads, and they filled up their spots of, I think, 100K or 200K airdrop users as well, or airdrop signups through literally just downloading the app, syncing your Google account, netted you $100 at the peak of its little run right here. But at the end of the day, it's still a new launch, so if people are in the pre-sale, they're up over 10x right now, or around a 10x from pre-sale at the 80 cents, around there at the peak. So it's gonna be selling pressure. Also, it's a big market cap, relative to most of the projects on this video. So just keep in mind with that. I think Heroes of Mavia is still, in my opinion, gonna be one of the top mobile crypto games of the cycle, without a doubt. It's a fun game, and they have a quality project, and they have a pretty good roadmap as well. So I think it definitely gonna have a place as one of the top mobile games in Web3, without a doubt, this bull cycle. But we're still very early. A lot of projects still have yet to launch, but that's my opinion. So keep a lookout for Heroes of Mavia. I think that, again, it just had a crazy run. I think that it's probably due for a correction. It could be what we're seeing right now. But I'm not trying to fudge or anything. I'm just saying that's typically what happens with new launches. So we'll see. We'll play this one out. Shrapnel, they have been doing super well. If we look at Shrapnel right now, they've actually had a live game event tournament going on. I think it's like a 100,000 prize pool or something like that. It's on their Twitter if you want to look. But this is just some gameplay of the game. So this is what the game looks like within Shrapnel right now. It's higher quality than this, but Twitter just kind of sucks sometimes when you're trying to load videos. This is on their Shrapnel Twitter, so I'll play a little bit, a couple of blurbs from this. But it's a first-person shooter FPS in Web3. A lot of people are dubbing it potentially the Call of Duty of Web3. Now, I think it's the closest thing we have to a Call of Duty in Web3, but obviously it's not going to be on the same scale or level of quality as Call of Duty just because it's a way less funding and, for various reasons, but it's still a fun game. And again, if you haven't gotten your hands on Shrapnel or play it, get in there, try it out. It's fun. I think the quality's good. I think it's probably the best FPS shooter game we have in Web3 currently. Right now, it's at a $72 million circulating market cap. It's also been doing fairly well on the 7-day, probably from its announcement of having the game launch. So everyone's been playing it. Kind of like we saw with like Big Time when Big Time launched and launched their native token, or like Prime, Echelon Prime. Games like that had their run. I think Shrapnel's having its run right now a little bit, and yeah, sure, it helps that Bitcoin's up. But if it'll show me, yeah, we saw Shrapnel almost get to $100 million in market cap at the end of last year, 2023. I think that Shrapnel is going to do very well this bull market. Now, one thing to always bring up is that there's going to be some token unlocks, I believe, happening here in about 2 months in April of 24. So just keep a lookout on that because obviously not a lot of the supply is out. Currently about 8%. So there's going to be some unlocks that could affect the price a little bit. But again, time will tell. But I do think the game's quality, and I think it does definitely have a place as far as having a pretty good run this bull cycle. And it's on Avalanche. So I think that, obviously gaming on Avalanche is going to have its own narrative. So I think they're going to do very well. And again, it's quality. People can play it. It always helps. Next one is Altura. So it is Altura's, pretty good infrastructure play. If we look here at their website, the ultimate platform for building and scaling Web3 games. Obviously, they started out as like their smart NFT technology. There's so much more than that now. I mean, they're part of the Unity verified solution. So developers or games can go on this. And they actually make so many quality partnerships. It's actually very insane if you follow their Twitter here. So you can actually build NFT platforms or marketplaces for different, projects. So if we look at their Twitter, they just made partnership with Undead Blocks. I mean, you can just scroll down it. You'll find partnerships very often with Altura, Space ID, Cruise, Core. I mean, the partnerships here are unreal. And I think they put out Wagme Games NFT marketplace here not that long ago. Right here. So, I mean, they make very quality partnerships. They probably have some of the most active partnerships, all bear market. And even right now, even last bull run, than really most projects in the gaming space that I've seen. So I've always been bullish on Altura. I hate when people say that, it's a last bull market coin, ditch it. Yeah, sure, it is a last bull market coin, but it's not black and white. It doesn't necessarily mean just because it was around last bull market that it's dead, never to return. I think that they've built definitely one of the hardest out of all the teams in crypto gaming. So I'm very excited for Altura and what they have coming, what they're going to be building. I think that they're going to have, they're going to do very, very well, especially at a 43 million circulating market cap. Most of their supply is out at this point since it has been a couple years. I can definitely see Altura having a pretty good run also. And again, if you're looking for an infrastructure play like this, who actually makes actual partnerships and actually has a use case and is being used by, projects in the space, Altura is definitely one to have your eyes on. Playable games, another one that we always talk about is kind of like a Myriad Gala games of sorts on Avalanche. They have their Bull subnet. They have their multiple games underneath of them. So, I mean, it's a gaming studio on Avalanche. They've been making some good partnerships also, or just good updates, I should say, within their own personal ecosystem. We made a dedicated video on that a couple days ago, so you can find that if you want. But obviously, we see them up 50% on the 7-day. So, this thing dipped under $20 million in circulating market cap, which I thought was a pretty good value buy. And I was saying that, we made a couple playable videos recently. I was telling you, I thought it was a pretty good value buy. Anything under 20 million circulating market cap, I thought it was pretty good for playable, and I thought it was way oversold and undervalued. Even at today's levels, I think it's undervalued still, but obviously not as undervalued as it was 7 days ago. But it does have a good narrative behind it on Avalanche. The Nexus game on Epic is actually pretty fun if you actually get in there and try it out or just look up gameplay. It's actually a pretty fun game. They have more games coming as well. They do have their nodes, their node ecosystem also, so that's always worth bringing up. But I think Playable Games is going to do very well. We saw it run up crazy at the end of 23. We saw this thing run up from, I think, about a $2 to $5 million market cap all the way up to a $50 million market cap. So it's retraced quite a bit. It was a healthy correction, as anything that does that should. So, but again, it's still quality, and I like playable games, and I'm excited to see where it goes in the bull market. So that's my stance. Moving on. Gaming. This one's interesting, right? Because gaming is a mobile gaming platform. They actually have a lot of games on their platform. I think you can play their platform in like Telegram or something like that. But we see here, they have 9.2 billion gameplays in the company's history, 75 million registered users. I mean, the numbers are staggering here. They have good team. Obviously, it's backed by Aminoka Brands. They have, their app. It's a solid platform. Now, what happened recently is that they did have I think it was a hack from one of the team members' private keys. Their wallet got hacked. It wasn't a smart contract hack. It was actually a hack from one of the team members, I believe, and then the hacker just kept selling it. So we saw them, and I was screaming it. I even put it on my Patreon. If you guys aren't familiar, I have a Patreon, link below, if you're interested. Not financial advice. If you're interested, I was saying that, if you had faith in Gamey long term, given the fact that it wasn't a smart contract hack, they weren't having to migrate the token or anything, it was just a team member. It's still a quality project at the end of the day. They kept the community pretty updated throughout that time also. I felt strongly that it was going to bounce back, so I put a buy alert here. You can actually see it on my Patreon. I put a buy alert right around this $8 million mark, and it even dipped further than that. I think it dipped to like a 5 million, 3 million a couple times, but we saw it just dip, because of the hack, obviously, at the end of January from 16 million, and after it was cruising between 20 to 30 million dollars in market cap for a while, dipped all the way down to a 5 to 8 million. So again, I saw a huge opportunity there, and I capitalized on it. Again, not financial advice, just telling you what I did. I'm telling you that it's in my Patreon. I put out a buy alert there, and there is evidence here. I usually don't bring it up that much, but again, I'll take the win where I can get it. But again, we saw it fluctuate, obviously, throughout that hack. But here we are, on Valentine's Day. Here we are, climbing, ripping again, because again, people are realizing it's still a quality project. At the end of the day, it is a quality project. And guess what? It's probably going to rip back to a $30 million market cap. We'll see, though. I don't know, but we'll see. But yeah, right now it's at a 25 million. So right there is about what, a 4x roughly? Did I do my math right? 3 to 4x, kind of right there. And that's where we got in. If you were in my Patreon, if you were beneath, or if you're getting in lower at that 3 to 5 million, then you're killing it on Gamey right now. So I just want to bring that up because I think Gamey, there was a lot of FUD there because of that hack, but people, I don't think were looking into it deep enough of what exactly was going on there. So that's why I think it was oversold. And obviously, people are coming back around, realizing, I mean, everything's solved now, I believe, with that hack that was a while ago. I think they had it solved pretty quick, too, by the way. But you can look at their Twitter, they put updates. Again, every other day, every day they're putting updates on that for the first couple days after the hack. So they handled it correctly. They handled it exactly how a team I would want to see handle it. That's how they did it. Either way, that's my spiel on gaming. Wanted to bring it up because, again, they're ripping again. Love to see that. OTK, a gaming platform on Solana, a gaming aggregator. Obviously, you can download Octo Gaming, their app, and actually play the simple games that they have on their app. It's not the most impressive or like AAA quality games, but that doesn't matter on mobile gaming. It doesn't. People, if you go somewhere, if you have kids, go to like a school event, soccer game, I guarantee you can look around, see some parents, or see just some people playing on their phones like a Candy Crush, like a Tetris game. No one, a majority of people do not play, besides Call of Duty, like mobile, most people do not, on their phones, do not play AAA quality games. That's just a fact, honestly. It's the simple games that you play on lunch, on break, in the car, waiting for a haircut, doctor's appointment. It's the simple, nothing games that you can play, and that's what OTK, I think, is brilliant. Obviously, they have their double reward system. They have, obviously, the Solana narrative behind them as well. Obviously, if you're familiar with me and my channel, I'm very bullish on Solana. I think it's going to rip this bull run. I think gaming underneath Solana is its own narrative, just like Avalanche Gaming. I think Solana Gaming is going to also kill it because there's not that many projects gaming-wise building on Solana. There's a couple other ones that we've covered and more that we're going to be covering, but there's really not that many quality ones, I should say. I should really specify quality ones. And OTK is one that I think is slept on hard. Obviously, we saw OTK at the end of last year go from sub 1 million all the way up around Christmas time to a $15 million market cap, and then it consolidated, as it should, after such an insane pump. It was People were saying, oh, it's rugging or it's selling right now. No, it just had what, like a 100x or 50 to 100x run, something like that, from the way bottoms. Really, look at it. Obviously, it's going to correct, but it came back because it's a quality project. So I think OTK, personally, I've said it so many times, and I'll stand by this opinion. Not financial advice. I think OTK is going to go $1 billion in market cap this bull run at the peak. That's my opinion on OTK. So obviously, I'm a big fan on OTK. But if you're familiar with me and watch videos on this channel, you would know that because we've covered OTK a few times. But time will tell. But again, we look over the 7-day, it's up 20%. So I like OTK, and up 50% on the 1 month, and obviously the 1 year or the all chart is not going to show me correctly. Oh, because I'm on market cap. Now it just won't show me, but it has done incredible things, obviously. But OTK is one that I also like. Another one that's on Solana is Mixmob. Now, this is another one recently. I'll let you guys in on a little gem here because, again, I don't bring it up often, but I get comments on it recently. I did put in my Patreon a couple days ago. I think over the weekend here. It won't show me, the market cap, but Mixmob was consolidating after its launch because really I think the audio price was like it was like 4 pennies, 4.5 pennies. So really, what, 50% of where it's at right now. And if you look at the tokenomics, they're actually pretty good. Not a lot of people sold because they're not really up that crazy. It's still such a low market cap, and when it launched, it didn't really do a huge dump because it didn't launch that high. It consolidated pretty well, and then it got to like an 8 to 9 million. I think I put out a buy alert at like $8.7 million in market cap, and right now we're pretty close to 2xing here in a couple days. And I think Mixmob is also going to do very well because it has a lot of hype around it. It's almost has like a Mario Kart kind of feel on Solana. Obviously, it's a gaming on Solana, which we just went into. My opinion there. I think, again, there's a lot of hype. It looks quality. You can actually watch on their Twitter or even on YouTube. You look up gameplay. They do streams about it, test gameplay of it. Game looks fun. I have not yet gotten my hands on it. It's pretty easy. Just go on the website. So I've seen, but I have not had the time to try it out myself. But I will be. Mixmob, super fun. I think it's going to do very well because, again, it goes back to the fact that Solana is going to do well, in my opinion. And I think gaming on Solana is just not there as far as quality compared to something like an Ethereum, Binance, Avalanche. I think Solana, as far as our quality gaming projects go, there's just not that many when you compare it to that. I mean, look at all the projects we're covering today. Most of them not on Solana. I think it's like only 2 OTK and Mixmob on Solana, really. I mean, especially at these low market caps. I mean, a $14 million market cap, a lot could happen. It can go, one of 2 ways, obviously. But I think Mixmob's going to do very well. And as with all these projects, go do your own research. You hear it all the time. People don't just say it to say it or go through the motions. Go do your own research. If you're going to get involved with one of these projects, know why you're getting involved, know how or when you're going to sell. Again, because nothing's financial advice. I'm just a guy on YouTube. Go on here, find them, but I'm just giving you the information. Do with it what you want is what I'm trying to say. But Mixmob, I think, is going to do very well. Domi Online. Domi Online is actually one that we've called, again, I think we talked about Domi Online for years now. We had made a video on them, I think, in 2022. I want to say May of 22. You can go on. We made our first video on Domi Online. I think Domi Online is gonna kill it. I mean, this thing has a lot of hype. They did just announce that they're going to be having their... Did I not? I'll retweet it later and put a thing there. But they are going to be having... Oop, I scrolled past it. They're going to be having their open alpha in March, so next month for Domi Online. This is exciting because so many people... They've been building for years. I mean, obviously, they put out so much updates, and they actually put out like a legitimate game you'd see on Steam with like patch notes. They should say exactly what they're changing, not just, hey, we changed a couple things on this update. You probably aren't going to see them. Maybe we didn't, but we're going to tell you that we did, as some projects on Web3 do. Not going to name names, but Domi Online, they will actually give you like a legitimate patch note, updates, break down every little change that they're making constantly. So they're one of the better teams about, letting their community know what's going on within their game, within the space that I have found or I've noticed, but I think that this is going to rip, especially now that people are going to be able to get their hands on it. Granted, it's alpha, but the game's looking pretty good, especially compared to where they began. Game's looking great, if you ask me. And they have ex-RuneScape developers or team members on their team also. I think it was Jagex. Altcoins, I think, is who owned RuneScape. I know it just sold. It was pretty sad, actually. But that's another rant. But either way, I think Domi Online is going to kill it. It also has that Avalanche Gaming narrative behind it. There's some big influencers that talk about Domi Online. I'm not going to say their names right now, but you can guess. Alex Becker. But you can guess. But all right, who said that? But either way, Domi Online, I think it's going to do very well. Again, another one. If you look over the 1 month, it's up 56%. Look over the 7 days, up 27%. It's been on our watch list for years now. We saw this thing rip hard at the end of 2023. I think it got up to it won't show me, but I think it was like a $30 million circulating market cap. And I think Domi is going to, again, not financial advice. I say it a lot, but it's true. I think it's going to get to several $100 million in circulating market cap. That's conservative. Really, I genuinely think that. I think Domi Online is going to do very well because, yes, they were around last bull run, but really when you look at it, not really. I think last bull run peaked in end of November, November 18th or something like that, in 2021, and then we saw it die off, pretty quickly, not so long after that. So, were they around last bull run? It's debatable, in my opinion, if they really were to see the full effect of a bull run. I would say no. They launched at the very end of it, as most projects did, and then they just as far as chart goes, died off. But as far as quality and building, they didn't. They were always around. They always posted on their Twitter. They were putting out updates. The game was there. You could keep up to date with them. That's what I liked about them. If you look through their white paper and look really the intricacy that is Domi Online, their economy, all the use cases for the Domi token, they put a lot into Domi Online. It's a rabbit hole you can go down. We made a lot of videos on Domi Online, so clearly I'm beating a dead horse here, but I like Domi, and not just because it's doing super well right now. We saw it over the 1 month actually go down to what's not going to show me market cap, because a little triangle here, but it got down to a $7 to $8 million circulating market cap, and then it quickly 2x'd to like a $14 million, and now it's just going up. So I think this is going to hit probably $20 million if Bitcoin keeps behaving the way it is. I think it will go up quite a bit, but I don't know if we will. But if we get back beneath $10 million in market cap, I think that's a steal for Domi. But again, if long term, if you have high conviction in Domi long term, then hey, at these levels, it's still super low in my opinion. So do with that information that you will. But that's kind of what I got for you guys today. I just want to go over, obviously, again, we see Bitcoin's doing pretty well, over that 52K mark. And this is all pre-halving, by the way, which is insane to me that we're getting this close to the all-time highs before the halving even. But obviously, it's leading up to it. So we'll see if the traditional pre-halving dump comes or not. I think it will, but again, that's just going off of the only thing we can go off is the past and the charts of the last bull cycles. I think it will, but obviously, you hear the argument of this time's different, which they say every time, but it might be with ETFs. We never had a Bitcoin ETF before. A lot of things, obviously, going on this bull run that we haven't had in the past. As with every bull run has their own little, news events, just because it's a first, in everything in this industry. It's, it's not widely adopted yet, so there's going to be a lot of new stuff. But again, I rant for another video. But as a quick highlight, some stuff that I wanted to highlight that's doing pretty well and I have high conviction in still. And I think I will the entire bull run unless something drastic happens. But again, you never know what could happen. Myria, Vulcan Forged, Heroes of Mavia, Shrapnel, Altura, Playable Games, Gamey, OTK, Octo Gaming or Octoken, Mixmob, Domi Online. Again, I can't cover every single one. So many gaming projects are ripping right now, but again, this would be a multi-hour long video. If you really want to get into that, let me know in the comments below if you guys got value out of this. If there's any projects on here you want me to talk about a little bit more in depth, or if there's ones that I didn't cover, there's going to be ones. If there's ones that I didn't cover, let me know. If I haven't already covered them, or if they're not aware of me, I'll make a video on them. I always love your guys' recommendations. I really appreciate it, and I appreciate your guys' support watching the videos. It really does mean everything to me. So if you guys, again, found value out of it, let me know. Like the video, comment, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell, and I will catch you guys in the next one. All right. See you guys.